Everton and Nottingham Forest are facing points deduction after admitting in being in breach of the English Premier League profit and sustainability rules at the end of the 2022 and 2023 season. These financial regulations have been put in place to minimize the losses that can be incurred by a club due to the chase of the Premier League title or any competition title. And Everton has already suffered a 10-point deduction a few months ago just because they exceeded the losses of the 2021-2022 season that they were allowed to lose. Now, I know some of you might not know what these are, but let's look at the rules and see why they are often criticized. Premier League clubs are allowed to lose a maximum of £105 million. That is across 3-year assessment period. However, for every season a club is in the second tier championship, that amount is slashed and reduced by 22 million. Forest, therefore, were only permitted losses of £61 million as they were promoted back in the Premier League for the first time in 23 years back in 2022-2023 season. There are a number of deductions allowed on costs that are deemed to be in general interest of the club and the game itself. These include spending on stuff like infrastructure, youth development, and women's football on its own. Now, clubs also use an interesting accounting tool called amortization to minimize the impact of transfer fees in their accounts. For example, a player that is signed for £50 million on a 5-year contract will appear as a £10 million charge for each of the 5 years rather than a £50 million upfront cost. No matter when the cash is actually transferred between the clubs, we saw the same tactic being abused by the likes of Chelsea as a rationale in dishing out 8-year contracts last year. In the Premier League, like when they signed the likes of Modric, Enzo Fernandez, and Moise Caicedo. And this particular little hack caused the Premier League to relook at this little rule and changed it in December 2023. And now they are imposing a 5-year limit spread on the cost of the transfer book. So which means clubs are only allowed to give 5-year contracts. Now, you might be asking, what was the purpose of actually even putting the rule in place? Well, they were actually brought in 2013-2014 season with the specific purpose of ensuring that the unstable spending couldn't go too far, and the wrapper was put around how much clubs could actually invest in pursuit of their aims, so they won't go bankrupt in pursuit of actually trying to capture the Premier League title or trying to capture the Champions League title. So that's why these rules were put in during the 2013 to 2014 season. Financial sustainability rules so controversial. It's mainly because they're designed to limit clubs to spend within their means of what they generate in revenue. However, as a result, they are often criticized for helping the established elite clubs such as Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, etc., to maintain their privileged position as they make the most money thanks to larger stadiums, better commercial deals due to bigger fan bases, and they are regularly involved in lucrative European football such as Champions League, Europa, and the extra, etc. Right? And despite being backed by Saudi sovereign wealth fund, Newcastle chief executive Darren Hughes admitted last week that Newcastle may be forced to sell one of their prized assets to be able to invest in their squad due to profit and sustainability rules. So many believe these rules were designed specifically to put brakes on spending on the state-backed clubs such as Newcastle and Manchester City and PSG. And City now they boast the biggest revenue in the English Premier League, making a record of £713 million for their treble-winning season, that was 2022-2023 season. However, these English champions that they are facing over 100 Premier League charges for their historic breaches of financial regulations, because City lost hundreds of millions in amassing a competitive squad, and off-field infrastructure in the early 2000s, mainly just after the Abu Dhabi Bank takeover happened in 2008. So these charges, they're not based on the from 2019. These charges are based from when they entered the Premier League and when they got acquired by the Saudi guys until 2018, because they were not making that amount of money. So that's why they have over 100 charges. But as for after that, everything is okay.